Alrighty, well, she kind of scared me a little bit, gotta be honest here. I told her, overall everything went really good. I told her that I started exercising again because I was able to. She told me at 6 weeks I could, and this week is number 7 post-op. So I started working out yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. Didn't go over 8 pounds the entire workout. I just did very minimal, slow, controlled, focused movements. And I was doing some squats, and I mean, it could be because I just don't have the good, the best form right now because I'm just getting back into it, but my belly did start to hurt a little bit. So I told her that. I said, I just got a little sore, during my workout yesterday, so I stopped immediately like my surgeon advised me to, and then it was just a little sore afterwards, but nothing crazy. And she looks at me, she goes, be very careful with the lifting because you could get a hernia like that. And I was like, I do not want a hernia. Like, I obviously knew, that if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, there would be complications. But when she said hernia, I literally got just scared to my core. So she said, I got another 4 weeks till my insides are all the inflammation's down, everything. So I'm gonna take it really easy until the fall time. So it's end of July, beginning of August right now. I am not gonna really do too much until September, I think. I think I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna walk on the treadmill every day, and I'm gonna move my body and just try to get my core, strong again, and do some pelvic floor exercises. But I think I'm really gonna take it easy on the lifting until September, because as much as I wanna lift weights, if I gave myself a hernia after everything I just freaking went through, I'd be the dumbest person on the planet. My inner Italian is coming out now, because I'm almost mad at myself. Well, I don't know. I guess I didn't really know what could happen. I knew that there could be complications. I guess nothing was ever specified. Everyone's just be careful, be careful. You don't want to tear, you don't want to get sore, you don't want to blah, blah, blah. But the second I heard the word hernia, I just freaked out inside. So that was really it that, she told me to be careful of. She looked at my belly, felt around, everything looks good. She's like, oh, you're healing beautifully. I'm like, still got a ways to go because I have 5 incisions in my stomach, but it's fine. But yeah, that word hernia totally freaked me out. So I'm saying it here. I am not doing any crazy lifting. I'm doing resistance bands, walking on the treadmill, body weight stuff, core stuff, I'm not gonna get crazy and do deadlifts and squat. I'm just not, because that's the last thing I want. That's the last thing anyone wants, right? You don't want to hurt yourself. So I gotta get myself in check here, because I'm feeling so good after working out just 2 days in a row. I just feel so good. I'm really gonna dial it in. I have to be accountable, and I have to not get crazy during these workouts no matter what I'm doing. It's gonna be hard, but if I gave myself a hernia, fun fact for you, this might be a little TMI, but I had bowel surgery, so it's a lot of poop talk and bathroom talk no matter what. After surgery, I did develop an internal hemorrhoid of sorts. Kind of gross. Didn't know what it was. Freaked the F out when there was blood in the toilet. I don't know if I should put this in this video, but anyone with Crohn's disease or some sort of IBD can understand and sympathize, so that's why I'm talking about it. Something I never experienced before, so that was really weird, and I told her about it, obviously. And there's nothing you can really do for an internal. You just have to make sure you're really hydrated and you're not straining when you're using the bathroom. I'm honestly happy that even though it is a hemorrhoid, it's an internal one, because the external ones are very painful and itchy and burn and this and I don't feel anything. There's just little bits of blood in my toilet every now and then. It's gotten less and less, so I think it's getting better, and I think I'm making sure I'm staying hydrated and not straining and everything. But that was something new, because at first I thought it was just part of the healing process of, getting your intestines taken apart. Oh, I wanted to talk about too the side effects of stelara that I'm experiencing. I shouldn't say, it's not plural. There's just like one side effect that I'm noticing that's actually not even listed as a side effect, which is interesting. So I've actually kept a screenshot in my phone of the side effects listed right from the stelara website in case I did start to experience something and, you know, maybe think that it might be a side effect. I could just look back and, you know, review it. So it says, in clinical studies, the most common side effects were nasal congestion, sore throat, and runny nose, which I actually had the night of my infusion. Like, I got it that morning, and that night I had like some post-nasal and like some congestion things, but then in the morning I was fine. Upper respiratory infections, fever, headache, tiredness, itching, nausea, vomiting, redness at the injection site, yeast infections, UTIs, sinus infection, bronchitis, diarrhea, stomach pain, joint pain. I have not had a single one besides those congestion little things at, you know, the night of. I was really tired the next day, but they say that after an infusion you are like pretty tired like that day, the next day, whatever, like that's normal. So I wouldn't categorize myself in like the tiredness because it's not continued. It was just right at the infusion. So I don't have any of these, which like I'm very happy. Like I'm totally happy. But over the last week or so, I have noticed my legs, the skin on my legs is getting very dry. And normally, whenever I get dry skin, usually in the winter time, I get like it gets dry, but it's like itchy and like kind of rough. So then, you know, I'll just put some lotion on it and it'll be fine. But this kind of dry skin is like flaky. Like it's like snake skin, how they like shed and flake. Like that's what I feel like my legs are. And it's not noticeable, but like I'm laying in bed and I go to get up and I see like my thigh is just all flake. Like when you're can't make words. When your sunburn is like peeling, it's kind of like that. And it freaked me out, and I'm like, my skin has never looked like this. Like my skin has literally never looked like that. So I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but like it's summertime. I've been out in the sun. I figured it was just maybe some sunburn peeling off that I didn't know I had. And then a couple days later, it's down my entire leg. And I'm like, what is this? Like my skin has never looked flaky and scaly like this. And like it just flakes off. Like it's literally dry skin. A couple days later, I go to sit down, go to the bathroom, and it's like there's just dead skin like all in my leggings. Like it's disgusting, it's like gross. Like it's really gross. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I I'm like a flake fest. It's like dandruff, except it's on my body. It's so weird. So I asked in my Crohn's disease support group on Facebook, I'm like, hey, has anyone with stelara experienced really dry, flaky skin? And quite a few people responded that they've experienced the same thing, even though it's not listed on the side effects sheet. So that made me feel way better. Like they said, I just moisturize like crazy. So I'm gonna try and really like double moisturize myself and really try to make that a habit. Because like I said, it's not super noticeable, but like if you looked at me like you're out in, you know, I'm out in the store or out in public and like you looked at me, you wouldn't look at my legs and be like, oh, she has really dry, flaky skin. But it's just something that I notice, and obviously it's different for me. It's out of my norm, so I'm gonna try and tackle it as best I can. But you know what, worst comes to worst, I'm just a flaky gal now, I guess. I mean, you can literally label me as flaky. I'm so happy I don't have any of the other side effects if this is the only one I have. I mean, it's a very small price to pay. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just the way my body is taking the meds. So, like I said, if that's the worst out of all the side effects for me, I mean, that's you know, a very small price to pay for how good I'm feeling. So that's my really long rant on my scaly skin now. Good for anyone with Crohn's disease, IBD, if you have to have bowel surgery. I mean, there really is hope for you. I have gone through so many emotions these last few months. And and it's a roller coaster for sure, but everything that happened to me, it's just shaping me more into who I am as a person. It's caused me to be very outspoken about this illness, and I'm very happy for that because I'm now connecting with people who also have this illness. Just raising awareness for this kind of thing is really great because, I mean, it's brutal. It's a very brutal disease. It's something that's not talked about, and chronic illness as a whole is not talked about because it's something we live with every single day. Why are we going to talk about it all the time and make such a big deal about it? But I want to talk about it now. I want to start that conversation now, and I want to raise awareness. I want to work with Crohn's foundations. I want to connect with people who have this disease, who have had surgeries like mine, who have ostomy, but like I want to connect with people in this realm now because it's changed me. This disease never defined me before, but it's completely changed me now. It's changed the way I see the world. It's changed the way I go about my daily life, and for the good, the bad, the ugly, like I want to talk about it. I want to have this conversation. So I've had too much caffeine today because I can actually like tolerate caffeine now. It's amazing the things that I could never tolerate before because my intestines were so effed up that now like I can have like literally 3 cups of coffee a day. And I've usually only been like a 1 cup a day gal. I can have like 3 cups of coffee and feel perfectly fine. Before, I'd just feel gross and bloated. I couldn't have too much caffeine. If I want another cup of coffee, I would do half calf or decaf just because I like the taste of it. I mean, it's crazy the changes that have happened in my body. I just feel so good. But anyway, okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.